Hallelujah. Be praised.
Be lifted high, be lifted high, for your glory be lifted high, be lifted high, be lifted high, for your glory be lifted high, be lifted high, be lifted high, for your glory be lifted high, be lifted high, be lifted high, for your glory be lifted high. You're the King of all the ages. You're the author of salvation. You're the reason why we're singing for your glory. Lord, release the sound of heaven. Let it rise in every nation. We will join the anthem singing for your glory. Be lifted high. For your glory be lifted high, be lifted high, be lifted high. For your glory be lifted high. You're the everlasting Father. You're the all-consuming fire. You're the reason why we're living for your glory. We will be the generation calling down the rain of heaven. We will join the anthem singing for your glory. Be lifted high, be lifted high, higher and higher, Lord. Be lifted high, be lifted high, higher and higher, Lord. Be lifted high, be lifted high, higher and higher, Lord. Be lifted high, be lifted high, higher and higher, Be lifted high, be lifted high, for your glory be lifted high, be lifted high, be lifted high, for your glory be lifted high, be lifted high, be lifted high, for your glory